Yo, yo, yo. Phil James. How we all doing? Alright. So, today, it is November 9th. It's 2017. And I just have a couple quick articles I want to show real quick. We said it was coming. We said there was a reason for all these mass shootings. And, you know, it's very strange that, I mean, think about it for a second here. We have two shootings, two major shootings that are very, you know, historical, I guess you could say, or very record-breaking. First, the Vegas shooting, the largest mass murder in modern American history, right? And then second, the Texas church shooting, which is, you know, the biggest mass shooting in Texas is modern history. So, kind of crazy that two in a row like that happened. And then, come to find out, right after the Texas Sutherland Springs shooting at the church, 8 to 10 miles away, there's another shooting that just happened. So, where are all the shootings coming from? Well, I'll show you where. Maybe not the exact source, but I'll show you the motivation to cause them. Let's put it that way. Is it time for a true gun debate? Here's what cartoonists have drawn after Texas shooting. Too soon. We haven't finished not doing anything after the last massacre. Oh, of course. Random effing cartoonists, you know. Is it too soon after this senseless massacre to have a national debate about guns? How about now? Or now? Now? Hold on. A new senseless massacre is here. Here is how some cartoonists are depicting the most vicious cycle. Nick Anderson, Washington Post Writers Group. So, here's the cartoon he drew. It can't happen here, all over the silhouette map shape of the United States of America. More like divided states of America, because that's the way it goes. Divide and what? Conquer FEMA sections. That's how it goes. And that's how it's going to continue to go, because guess what? That time has come. People like myself have been warning for years now that the divide and conquer tactics are being used. We've been warning for years now that the false flags are performed and carried out. We've been warning for years now that there is a much bigger agenda than what people see in front of the curtains. You know what I mean? So that was, you know, the first little thing I wanted to show. Just the way they're pushing this narrative. Like, see guys, how many more massacre, or how many more shooting and massacres do we need before we put some gun restrictions or take guns? You know what I'm saying? So that's being pushed now. Again, it's never too late to insist it's too soon. Well, come on guys. Mass shootings. Please sit down and talk. Unbelievable. So, you know, these are just a couple of them. I'll put links to all these in all these articles in the description for anybody interested in seeing them for themselves, because I have two more that I'm going to show real quick. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable where we're at right now. Oh, the Texas church massacre was not a gun situation. It was a mental health situation. Is that what it was? I'm going to call it a government false flag situation with motives to get rid of guns. That's what I'm going to call it. Oh, you got to see that. Love it. Crazy U.S. gun laws. Oh. So, you know, that doesn't have anything like too crazy. It was just cartoonists, you know, depictions of what they're claiming it's like and all this and that. But I wanted to show it. Here's a good one for everybody. Facebook is asking users to send nudes for good reason. What? Are you effing kidding me right now? Facebook is currently piloting an unorthodox scheme to combat revenge porn in which users can send the company nude photos they fear might be shared to stop them from being published. What? Now, who in their right mind thinks that combating revenge porn, or, whatever you want to call it, who thinks combating that is, like, the motive here? I can't possibly see that sending a shit ton of nude pictures to Facebook as a good idea. I can't see that. That's unbelievable. Okay, I've already read things and articles, on privacy and our rights and our privacy being invaded. I've read things where they claim there's databases of nude photos from Snapchat, selfies, and, text messages and Facebook, so on and so forth. I've read all that, and I'm sure that it's very, very plausible that there is a database somewhere in the world of just outrageous amounts of nude photos. I'm sure of it. I mean, how could you not assume that there is? You know what I mean? But now Facebook is coming right out asking for nude photos, and they're claiming it's to combat revenge porn. Now, I just can't see that. I mean, not at all. Can you imagine? You send a nude photo to Facebook. You're like, I don't want this published, Facebook. I don't want the world to see. But Mark Zuckerberg goes scrolling through his database, and now, he's got a spank bank that nobody else in the world has, because it's literally anybody in the world who falls for this. Just unbelievable, man. It's absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe that. Thanks, dickhead. Jackasses, man. But, I cannot believe the shit Facebook is pulling right now. Like, just the shit they're doing. It astonishes me. But, whatever. Revenge porn is a type of abuse where images once taken consensually, for example, by people in a relationship are shared online at a later point. Okay, which obviously, that's pretty clear that that's what it was. The proposed system would work by hashing abuse images that victims send to themselves using Facebook Messenger, using the same technology that social media companies used to identify terrorism-related or child abuse images. Facebook would create a digital fingerprint of the image that would be stored after the original image is deleted. That fingerprint or hash would be used to stop the image being uploaded in the future. The technology works even with images that have been manipulated. All right. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I will put the link in the description below, like I said, and I just had to share it because this, maybe it's, a good, they claim there's a good reason for it, but at the same time, I cannot see anything good coming from that, not at all. Do you think I would do that? No, hell no, never. You know what I'm saying? That stuns me, astonishes me, and blows me away. And then third, I saved this one because I thought this was the best. You got to think, I've already kind of touched on this in another video. Now, when you look at American taxes, okay, let's think. Income taxes, depending on where you live, there's a bunch of variables and what you have, what kind of deductions you have, and whatnot. They claim that it's like anywhere from 20 to 30%, you know what I mean? That we are taxed in income tax. Now, with that being said, let's think about all the other tax we experience and pay on a daily life, like daily, just normal day. So then you have sales tax. You have tax on nicotine and alcohol. You have tax on fuel, gas, And then, some things are even double taxed and triple taxed, and then they increase. You know what I'm saying? So then let's say you own property, a home on your own land. You pay what? Land tax. I think that's twice a year. You pay tax on, like in certain cities, you pay tax on the rain droplets that hit your roof, roll down your roof into your gutters, go down your gutters into the sewage system in the street. You pay tax on that. Okay? I'm pretty sure you probably pay some sort of tax for trash pickup. You pay federal, local, state tax, and you have school district tax. So basically, when putting all these together, the typical American is looking at a tax rate of anywhere around, I would guess, 40 to 50%, maybe give or take some, either which way, depending on people's deductions and whatnot. But either way, that's a lot of tax, especially when you consider it like this. What is slavery? Slavery is working or doing something and getting nothing in return for somebody. Slavery, yes, is typically forced, but it doesn't have to be forced. I don't think. I guess it would have to be forced. I'm sorry. I'm not saying this the right way. So don't mind that last part. But slavery, you're kind of forced into doing something to survive. And so essentially with taxes, a tax rate would be 100% of what you make would be slavery. It's comparable to slavery. So at 40 to 60, 40 to 50, 40 to 60%, what is that? Half slavery? No, but it is economic slavery because we're there in it. We've been stuck in it. And debt and American currency are hand in hand. For instance, the American monetary system would not and could not exist without debt. Debt would not exist without the currency. You see what I mean? They're hand in hand. It's a snake eating itself because the very first Federal Reserve notes that were printed by the Fed Reserve were loaned to the federal government with an interest rate on them. So with that being said, they're loaned and now there's an interest rate. So that means we're already in debt with that interest rate. Where does the money come from to pay the interest rate back if that's the first Fed Reserve notes ever printed? It doesn't exist, nor has it ever existed. So therefore, it's loaned. That very first sheet of money is loaned with that interest rate that's impossible to pay back because there's not enough currency to pay it back. As we all know, 1913 was the year that we switched to the United States Federal Reserve notes. You know what I mean? We used to have silver certificates and what was the other one? United States notes, the red and blue seals. Blue seals were silver certificates. That was when currency was still backed off precious metals. Silver certificates, silver. United States notes, gold. So 1913, we did away with all that. That's when the Fed Reserve started printing our money. So now, $1 in comparison to 1913, okay? Think about this. $1 now, $1 in 1913 takes $30 now to equal the same value. And then you just look at the amount of inflation, and then the raising of minimum wage, inflation, interest, sales tax. All those things are a weapon to keep us all in economic slavery. I'm sorry this came out kind of choppy. I started winging it there at the end. But, You know, I wanted to show this article because Americans aren't taxed enough. Really? Really? So I'll leave this link in the description also. We Americans are having the wrong debate. Almost all the arguing over Trump's administration's proposed tax cuts centers on two issues. Will the tax reduction stimulate faster economic growth? And is the proposal too generous towards the wealthy and too stingy towards the middle class and poor? Well, I'm sure it is. You know, it always is. Tax cuts for the rich, but not the masses. Like, what? The people with it get a bigger break on taxes than the people without it. You know, this is how you can look at the world and just know we live in an absolute, pardon my French, clusterfuck of a world. Absolutely unbelievable. Because people fight to survive. You know, it's tough. And unemployment skyrockets and continues to grow. Just AI continues to be created. Robots continue to take jobs. So technically, jobs are decreasing, unemployment rising. Money, our monetary system, is devaluing itself because as the Fed Reserve continues to create and print more money, it continues to deface what's already in circulation. Like I said, snake eating itself, it's built to collapse. And it's inevitable that the collapse is completely and totally inevitable. It will happen. But, alright, y'all. Like I said, links will be in this description. I thought these were 3 articles that should be shared just because I found them this morning and they absolutely, just stunned me, blew me away. Unbelievable. But, alright, y'all. I just found out I'm not working today, so might have y'all another video today. We'll see. Alright, y'all. Have a good day. Peace.